Hello everyone, I am Carmelita C. Amistoso, your lecturer in this video. Today, I will be discussing one of the most special features in stylistics. But before that, let's take a look first at these sentences. So what did you observe in these sentences? As you will notice, there are some words are omitted in a sentence and there are some words are added. And in that phenomenon of a sentence or a text, that has something to do with unity and relevance. And that is the focus of this lecture video. So today, I will be discussing cohesion and coherence. So let's define first what is a cohesion. Cohesion comes from the Latin word sticking together, and it is a term in functional grammar that relates to how texts are held together lexically and grammatically as a whole. Sticking together tightly means tying our words, phrases, sentences, and paragraphs together in clear and is logical to the reader. Then what is a coherence? Coherence, it has something to do with sense. Basically, the relevance of clauses, sentences, or paragraphs on another. So to further elaborate these two ideas, let's take a look at this example. Mommy beat John. John had come home late. It is coherent but not cohesive. It is coherent because there are two ideas that are connected or related to each other. Mommy beat John and John had come home late. But it is not cohesive because there is no cohesive devices used in this sentence. Next example. Mommy beat John because he had come home late. This sentence is cohesive and coherent. As you can see in this sentence, there is already a cohesive device used, which is because, and there is a pronoun he that replaces the noun. And that makes the sentence cohesive and coherent. So let's take a look on this another example. Mommy beat John because America is a developed country. It is cohesive but not coherent. Why? Even though there is a cohesive device used in this sentence, which is because, these two clauses, Mommy beat John and America is a developed country, is not connected or related to each other. The reason why Mommy beat John is not related or connected to the fact that America is a developed country. That's why it is not coherent. Another example. Mommy beat John. America is a developed country. It is not coherent and not cohesive. Why? Because the two sentences in this example are not connected or related to each other. And it is not cohesive because there is no cohesive device used. So in analyzing a cohesion in this course, there are some methods on achieving it. These are referential cohesion, conjunctive cohesion, elliptical cohesion, substitutive cohesion, lexical cohesion, and parallelism. So let's talk first, what is referential cohesion? A referential cohesion means using pronouns or determiners to refer to the known nouns in a text. For example, I met with Samuel and he asked me to pay him a visit. So in this example of referential cohesion, we can see here that the known noun is Samuel and it was replaced by a pronoun he. And that's how referential cohesion works. But take note, in referential cohesion, we have this so-called anaphoric reference and cataphoric reference. Anaphoric reference is backward referencing, while cataphoric reference is forward referencing. To enlighten you, here's an example of anaphoric reference and cataphoric reference. For anaphoric reference, Jane had permanent booking at the Star Theater, but she decided not to go today. So as we can see in this example, the noun Jane is stated first before the pronoun she. So when we analyze this, the pronoun she refers anaphorically to the noun Jane. So here's an example of cataphoric reference. As she approached another renewal of her vows, Melissa was called to an interview with a visiting French priest. So as we can see in this example, the pronouns she and her was stated first before the known noun Melissa. So when we analyze this example, the pronoun she and her refers cataphorically to the noun Melissa. So let's move to conjunctive cohesion. A conjunctive cohesion is obviously the use of conjunctions, basically the three coordinators or coordinating conjunctions like and, but, and or. So here's an example of a conjunctive cohesion. First, I like football and I like hockey. She's 85 but still goes swimming every day. I will eat either a hamburger or a hot dog. So those coordinating conjunctions used in these examples are and, but, and or. And this was used cohesively. So let's move to another method of achieving cohesion in this course. It is elliptical cohesion. When we say ellipsis denotes a kind of substitution by zero. It deals with the omission of word or words while simultaneously relying on the reader's mind to deduce and fill in the missing bits from what they have read or heard. So basically, in elliptical cohesion, we omit certain word or words in a sentence to avoid repetition of ideas or redundancy. For instance, Tina looked back and saw her parents. So we can see in this example that the subject or noun Tina is ellipted in the second clause. And also, instead of using a pronoun she, it is also ellipted to avoid redundancy or repetition of words. And we also have these so-called clausal and sentential levels of ellipsis. For example, he promised to be there yesterday, and he was. This example is an ellipsis at the verbal level. So instead of saying, he promised to be there yesterday, and he was there yesterday, we omit that verbal phrase, there yesterday, to avoid redundancy or repetition of words or phrases. So let's move to another method of achieving cohesion in this course. We have substitutive cohesion or substitution. The substitution denotes replacing a linguistic item with another. So, from the word itself, substitute, basically, we use to replace a certain word or words in a sentence that suits with it. For example, would you like a cup of tea? Yes, I'd like one. So in this example, we can see that it is about asking a cup of tea. Then, we tend to answer it with a quantity of how many cups of tea we wanted. So, the word one here in this example replaces the words or phrase a cup of tea. Let's move to lexical cohesion. A lexical cohesion is a method of cohesion which simply use words to achieve unity in a text. So there are 4 varieties of lexical cohesion. These are repetition, synonymy, antonymy, and collocation. Let's talk first about repetition. Repetition is the repetition of the same word or words. For example, play, play, play. That's all you seem to do. We can see in this example, the word play is the repeated word. And that's repetition. So the next one is synonymy. Synonymy is the use of words with similar meaning. For example, I saw this large dog, really huge. As we can see in this example, large and huge are words that are synonyms, which means they have similar meanings. The next one is antonymy. In synonyms, these are words with similar meanings. In antonym, these are the use of words with opposite meaning. For example, get educated. You can't always stay ignorant. So as we can see in this example, the words with opposite meanings, educated and ignorant. Next is collocation. Collocation is the use of words that go with each other. Or simply, these are words that are likely to occur together. For example, my friend did me a great favor last week. As we can see in this example, friend and favor are the words that collocates each other. So let's move to the last method of achieving cohesion in this course. We have parallelism. Parallelism is the repetition of the same syntax structure or pattern. For example, I came, I saw, I conquered. So we can see here the repetition of SP pattern, or what we commonly known as subject-predicator pattern. I is the subject, and the words came, saw, and conquered are the predicator. Let's have another example. United we stand, divided we fall. Here, we can see the repetition of CSP pattern or complement, subject, predicator pattern. The words united and divided are the complement, and the word we is the subject. Stand and fall are the words that are predicate. So let's now proceed to coherence in this course. Let's now define first what is a coherence. According to Widowson, 1978, coherence manifests in this course by the extent to which a particular instance of language use matches a shared knowledge of conventions. So when we say conventions, it is something that is usually done in a particular area or activity. And according to Merriam-Webster, coherence is a systematic or logical connection or consistency. So, any piece of communication that is logical will be coherent. And coherence has something to do with the concept of sense, which relates to the notion of meaningfulness or relevance. Here is an example. A. I have put the broom in the living room. And B answered, I'm eating my food. A responded, okay. So based on this example, we notice that there is no cohesive device used. And we will also notice the social conventions of interactions, and we may interpret it through this concept. And if we analyze this discourse or conversation, A is asking B to perform an action, while B states the reason why he can't comply. Then A answered back, okay, which we may interpret that A owes to perform the action. Always remember that in identifying a coherence in a certain text or in a certain sentence, we must pay attention to the conventional structure of interaction and the relationship between utterances through an interpretation of illocutionary acts. That's it for coherence in this course. So let's move to the stylistic values of cohesion and coherence. Cohesion and coherence are both stylistically valuable to a text or sentence, as they exhibit logicality and clarity of the text itself. So in conclusion, cohesion relates to unity, where it ties or binds two clauses or sentences. On the other hand, coherence relates to relevance or sense, where it accounts for the meaningfulness of the text. So that ends my lecture on cohesion and coherence. I hope you learned a lot from my lecture video. Padayon!